Hi, everyone, and welcome back again to another episode of Black Excellence in Healthcare, White Coats and Real Talk podcast. On tonight's episode, we have Dr. Stephanie Bradley Miller. Hi.
Hello, Dr. Angel.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Such an honor and a pleasure.
Likewise. And thank you for creating this space. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. It's definitely something needed in our climate where we see all of the different things happening with diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. So to have a space where we can continue to showcase our excellence and the things that we're doing. Kudos to you for creating this safe space for us.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So we're going to dive on into tonight's episode and get all into doctor business. So for the audience, for those who don't know you, for those who do know you, just give us a background about your academic background, your credentials, and your professional experience in the healthcare field.
Absolutely. So everybody, I am Dr. Stephanie Bradley Miller, to those who do know me and to those who do not know me. I've been in the healthcare field for about 20 years in various roles. I started out as a certified nursing assistant. I went to a high school that actually offered health occupations, and it was something that really opened my eyes into medicine and what I wanted to do moving forward. So I got my CNA certification actually when I was 17 years old, and I started working at 17 years old as a CNA. So with that, I was mentored by some amazing nurses, doctors, residents, fellows, you name it. And I decided that, I wanted to go back to school. So I started out at Illinois State. I started out pre-med. We can get into that a little bit later. But I quickly had to make a pivot because life sometimes happens to you. And I went into nursing. And I did the stepwise approach. I got my associate's degree from Harry S. Truman on the north side of Chicago. From there, I did my BSc in completion at Indiana Wesleyan. And I always knew I wanted to be in a provider role. I always knew that. And I ended up going to Governor State and I got my MSN. You and I have something in common. We're alum to Governor State. And from there, I started working, as a nurse practitioner. As a nurse, I worked for many years on the west side of Chicago at Mount Sinai Hospital in the heart of the west side. And I knew that I wanted to go back to school. So I got my MSN. And then once I did that, I pivot and I went into academic medicine. I knew that I wanted to get into academia. I wanted to learn more about research and kind of be at the forefront of things so I can bring that stuff back to my community. But the doctorate degree was actually a degree of inclusion. Getting my doctorate degree did not add any money to my salary. However, it was a degree that I felt like in terms of speaking with Black excellence, it was something that I needed to do. I needed to show other people like this is possible, this is attainable. If I can do it, you definitely can do it. And I looked at it also as a way where I could never be excluded from anything. So if I ever apply for anything, they couldn't tell me, well, you don't have a doctorate, so you don't qualify. So it was one of those things. It was like the last step, the finishing touch, and like just putting the bow on the package. So that's my career and educational journey.
Well, that is amazing. And I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud.
Likewise.
Likewise. Amazing. So we are alumni. I went to Governor State too. I also started as a CNA as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that is very important. And I think that's what all nurse practitioners eventually, they should start.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it gives you a different perspective, and it truly gives you the understanding of what team-based care looks like. When you have navigated all of the roles of a team, I feel like you can better lead that team because I knew how it felt to be a CNA. I knew how it felt to be a nurse. And now as a provider, being the person that is in control of, a multitude of decisions, I know how that feels too. So I think it equips you for future state when you're looking to build your own team and, whatever capacity you do that. But it also gives you that level of respect and understanding, to respect everybody on the team, and everybody's contribution is equally important. So I really learned a lot as a CNA. I tell all people that I mentor that want to go into nursing, I think you should definitely work as a CNA. I'm not saying that you have to do it for a very long time, but I feel like you should definitely understand that role and the uniqueness that it brings.
I agree with you 100%. I most definitely do. And our CNAs don't get enough credit.
They don't.
They don't get enough credit.
They don't. They are our eyes and our ears. Mm-hmm. They are the people who sit at the bedside when we can't. They are the people who sometimes often catch things that we don't catch because they see a different level of vulnerability from patients that we don't see. So they don't get enough credit. And that is something that I feel we have to continue to be intentional on doing because it's the first step. It's the foundation. So it's important that they get their flowers and they get the credit that they deserve.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So before I go into this next question, I want to double back about this pre-med. I want to double back about this pre-med. I'm sure y'all want to know.
Oh, absolutely. So this is where the real part comes in, right? The real talk comes in, right?
Yes.
So, freshman year of college, I graduated high school, full scholarship, full ride, one of the first in my family to go away to college. Everybody is so thrilled and happy and just, looking forward to what I'm going to do, the mark I'm going to make on, the earth and the impact. But that October of my freshman year, I found out I was pregnant. And teenager, I was 18 years old, found out I was pregnant. And I was scared. I was terrified. And I knew for sure that I would not thrive being away from home. So I made the decision that I had to come back home. And dealing with that decision was very hard for me because I was definitely carrying the weight of this pedestal that, number one, I never asked to be on. But of course it is what it is. And I'm carrying this weight and I'm feeling like I'm letting my grandmother down. I'm letting my brothers down. I'm letting, all of my family members down who were just here at this trunk party giving me gifts and all of this other stuff. And it's like, oh, I'm back come January. So it was just one of those things that was just very daunting, right? And again, I'm a child, essentially. I'm 18, 19 years old now, stepping into becoming a mother. Mm-hmm. And what does that look like for me? So I quickly determined, the medical track wouldn't be sufficient for me because now I have a child that I need to support and that I need to take care of. And I'm like, okay, well, what can I do in the medical field that's a little faster, that's going to get me kind of to the same point, but I got to pivot. I got to make a pivot pretty quick. And from there, I decided, I'm just going to go full steam ahead and I'm going to do nursing. So my son, who will be 20 actually in 15 days, he came, and shortly after that, I was back in school. I was back going full throttle and achieving my goals. He was definitely the motivation for me to continue to keep pushing. I mean, I could have stopped. I could have said, you know what? I'll continue to just work and I won't go back to school. Of course, every decision comes with its own level of consequences, rewards, whatever you want to call them. But that was the beginning of the end of my pre-med journey. And I still arrived where I needed to arrive. I feel like all things happen and I'm a person of faith and I feel like all things work together. So I knew that, he was being here for a reason and his life had purpose. So I definitely made that adjustment and wanted to, still be in a position where I could provide my son a lifestyle that, he deserved. So I was able to make that pivot and went to nursing school and continued to go to school. So that's the pre-med story.
Why does this sound like so much of my story?
Really?
Oh, wow. But that is amazing. That is most definitely amazing. I kind of always knew I wanted to, get into nursing. I knew I always wanted to be in the medical field. I had got a full ride scholarship to Spelman and to Clark. I graduated number 3 in my high school, and God had other plans for me because I ended up pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, my son, he'll be 20 in October.
See, the same thing.
So I ended up going to community college, Prairie State Community College, and then I just I went to Governor State for my bachelor's, went there for my master's too as well, and then I went to Chamberlain for my doctorate. But it was, I was over here like, why does it sound so?
This is deja vu.
I had to, life happens, challenges happen, and you take that pivot, but you don't give up.
Nope.
And just as you stated, your son was your biggest motivation. He was my biggest motivator for me to keep going.
Absolutely.
Because I knew the life that I wanted to, provide for him, and I wanted it to look a little different than mine, because I was the first one in my family to obtain a doctorate degree. I was the first one to, go so far with my education. And I wanted to be that example, for him. No,
absolutely. And they, what seems as a setback is like the ultimate comeback, because when you have that motivation, there is no other alternative but to complete. So, like, no matter what I'm feeling, no matter what I'm like, today I want to quit. Like, that's not even an option, because you have another human being that you're responsible for. And I think for me too, it's a testament to that you can do hard things. So I tell people all the time when I encounter them and, I'm mentoring people, I'm like, you really don't have any excuses. I was able to do this with a child in a household full of bills. Like, you can do this. Like, you can do hard things. And I think something that's very important is being transparent and being vulnerable. Like, a lot of people, they don't want to share those things. Like, I tell people all the time, like, don't compare yourself. Like, comparing is the thief of joy. Like, absolutely. You sit up, you look on social media. Social media is a highlight reel.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is. Like the highlight reel of people's lives. Like, nobody is up there telling you about their downfalls. No one is up there being vulnerable, telling you the real of what it looks like when you're going through certain things. And I think for us, we have a responsibility to be vulnerable, to be transparent, and to let people know, first of all, number one, it's okay. It is okay. Like, your world is not over. The world is not going to stop. You're not the first. You won't be the last. And you can continue to do great things, even in this. Right. So I think we owe it to our next generation to be vulnerable and to share our stories.
I love the way you put that. You are absolutely right. So where are you now in your healthcare journey?
So right now, I serve as a director for advanced practice providers. Okay. And in my role in doing that, I get to do something that I love, and that is to help people grow professionally. It is one of the most rewarding things that I get to do. And I get to do it with my peers. I get to do it with people who are like me, people who have completed the journey that I've completed. So I'm able to give that perspective back to them. So a lot on transitioning into practice. Like, we were, talking about transitioning into practice, coming from school, going through clinicals, to now like showing up and actually being the executioner. Mm-hmm. I feel like as nurses, sometimes we have a really difficult time turning on that switch from being the person that, okay, well, I'm going to page the doctor or I'm going to page this person. It's like, no, sweetie, now you're getting paid. You have to give those answers and those orders. So being able to mentor people, encourage people, give them tips, and again, be vulnerable. Like you're not always going to get it right. You're going to be a lifelong learner. You're going to have those moments where you don't feel like you know everything. Mm-hmm. You need to lean on your support system, lean on the people who are there to help you grow and develop. So in my role as a director of advanced practice providers, it's a lot of that. And then with people who start to become more of subject matter experts, because seeing patients every day can get really mundane. You then start to challenge them in a different way. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you want to do? What type of impact do you want to have? Like, yes, working for our organization is amazing, but what else do you want to do? Do you want to speak nationally? Do you want to publish? Do you want to put things in peer-reviewed journals and things like that? So we do a lot of coaching in that regard too. And it's very rewarding. Like, it's extremely rewarding to see someone that you meet like day one as a novice, and then 5 or 6 years later, they're on national platforms and publishing articles, or they're teaching, So I really, really enjoy my role. That's one of my roles. I also serve as an adjunct professor, which is another role that I'm really passionate about, because I don't know if you've seen in the media lately, but our profession has been attacked by leaps and bounds on, how competent are we? Are we good enough? Are we mid-level providers? And, for me, being in a position to have influence over the people who are going to sit to take that test soon, reiterating to them that they understand the magnitude of what they're stepping into. Because I think a lot of times people see nurse practitioners, they have, the greatest projection of career growth and their salaries are this, and they see the sound bites. But I don't think they really realize the magnitude of the role that they're stepping in. You literally have people's lives in the palm of your hand. And you have to take that seriously, and you have to be ready to accept that call. It's not something that you could be lukewarm about, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You really have to be for certain. This is for me. This is what I want to do. I'm passionate about that. So in my role as an adjunct professor, I'm always very intentional to, let people know, you're going through the school phase of it and you're going to take an exam, and I'm sure you guys are bright. You're going to pass. But when you get there day one, this isn't school. This is real. And you truly have a call of duty for these patients. When you think about social determinants of health, you think about access issues, you think about the barriers that we have to give people care right now. That's important. A lot of people don't view themselves as, oh, well, I'm not political. That doesn't have anything to do with me. It does. Because the legislators pass legislation that determines how you practice and how you care for these people who you have, again, in the palm of your hand. So even though, no, we're not saying everybody has to go and, become a politician or, run for office, but you definitely need to be in tune. And I think there are just so many facets of the NP role that a lot of our nurses aren't fully grasping as they're in school. And I use that opportunity and I leverage that time to make sure that they understand the importance of their impact and the impact that they have in their personal lives, and then, of course, the communities that they serve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, because it's needed. It's most definitely is needed. So what does Black excellence, all of that excellence, what does Black excellence mean to you personally and professionally? What does it mean to you?
You know what, Dr. Angel? It means a ton to me. And the first word that comes to my mind when I think about Black excellence, I think about resilience, right? We work incredibly hard. Just being a Black woman in the medical field in certain roles if you understand the percentages of African Americans in certain spaces, you'll understand why Black excellence is so important, because we have to break through so many different barriers. We have to be 10 times faster, 10 times smarter. Like, there's no room for error. And regardless if it's in our own mind or if it's really our reality in the positions that we're in, no matter what it is, that's the pressure that we're under. So when you're in this mode to achieve, you're also thinking about, what does this mean for the culture? And that's important, because you want young ladies, young men to look to you to say, oh, wow, Dr. Angel could do it. I can do it. Dr. Stephanie was able to do it. I can do it. You want to be that example, because representation matters.
It does.
It matters, and it makes such a huge impact. People don't realize how important it is to see someone doing something that you want to do, because it makes you truly feel like, oh, this is attainable. Like, she's like me. Like, oh, she from the west side of Chicago. Like, she like me. Like, if she can do it, I can do it. It gives them another level of confidence that they didn't know that even exists, because now you see someone that's relatable. You see someone that understands your struggle, and it's like, wow, she did that. I can do that too. So Black excellence is resilience. It's also representation. And more importantly, it's embracing your power, because we have power. Like, we are powerful. We do great things in all spaces, not just in medicine, but of course, in all spaces, we do amazing things. So Black excellence means a ton to me. I really take what I do very seriously. I want people to be able to look at me and say, you know what? Because Dr. Stephanie did it, I know I can do it. And I want them to really feel that, because it's the truth. Anything I can do, you can do. Like, it is the truth, and representation matters. I didn't see a lot of Black doctors growing up.
Me neither.
I didn't. Like, I think about the clinic that I went to as a kid. There was maybe one doctor that was African American in that clinic. I didn't see a lot of Black nurses growing up.
Me neither.
You know, so if you really like sometimes just sit back and reflect and be like, well, who did I see doing this? It's like, I didn't see anybody. Like, and you really didn't. Like, you didn't see a lot of that. And I think that that is something that we, you know, have to be intentional in our roles and giving back, and, you know, going to local churches, going into communities, going to underserved places, doing podcasts and things like that, just to leverage those platforms to let other people know who look like us. Guess what? You can do it. It's your time.
Absolutely. 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 I second all that. That's one of my lines. I second all that, because I agree with all of that. So, what does that beautiful white coat you're wearing?
Oh, my white coat.
That hard-earned white coat. What does that white coat symbolizes for you?
It symbolizes my power. It symbolizes my strength. It symbolizes my tenacity. Like, when I first got my white coat in my first role as an MP, like, true story, I went home and cried. Like, I literally cried real tears, because I could not believe that I had it. Like, I truly could not believe that I had it. And it gives me chills even now, because, again, you don't see a lot of people who look like you in these roles. You just don't. So when I was able to get my coat, and, you know, then it was like, oh, well, we launder it for you. I was like, no, I'm going to clean my own coat. I'm going to do it myself. And, you know, it was just one of those things that it's mine. Like, no, I don't want you to mess it up. So it was just one of those things that just made me so proud. Like, I'm not like a really big picture person, but like, I took so many pictures in my white coat. Like, look at my coat, y'all. Like, I was one of those people that was just like thrilled to have my white coat, because I knew what was on the other side before that white coat. Like, I was able to think back on the struggles, on the sleepless nights, the anxiety, the pressure, like feeling like I wasn't good enough. Like, I remembered those things that was on that other side of obtaining this white coat. So it meant the world to me to have it.
You deserved it.
Yes.
You deserved it. I know that's right. Say, that's
absolutely. It was not. I don't need you to wash it. I wash my own coat.
My own white coat. That's good. That is so good. So what is a powerful message that you would like to give to the future generations of just people who wants to get in healthcare, period? They don't necessarily have to be nurses or nurse practitioners, but what's a piece of advice you would like to give to the future generation?
It's going to sound extremely cliche, but I tell everybody, you only get out what you put in. Mm-hmm. If you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to work hard, if you're not willing to go the extra mile, if you're not willing to make sacrifices, you have to understand that there will be limitations, because with anything worth having, you have to fight for. And this is something the healthcare field, nursing, NP, whatever, like, you have to put your best foot forward. You have to show up and give 100 and 110% when you show up. Like, you have to be present. You have to be intentional. You have to work hard. Nothing is going to fall into your lap. You have to do the work. A lot of this too is self-motivation. You have to have those talks in the mirror with yourself. Like, you have to speak over yourself. I can do this. I can do hard things. It's only temporary. My time is here. This is meant for me. I was born to do this. You have to put and speak those positive affirmations over your life, because if you don't, you will let everybody else's opinions, you will let the self-doubt creep in, you will let all of those things creep into your mental that will only set you back. So if you know that you're showing up and you're ready to give your all into it, you're going to get out what you put in. So if you put a lot into it, you're going to get a lot out of it. And it's something that I want people to understand. This is attainable. It's not impossible. It's attainable. Anything that we were able to accomplish, you can accomplish. You just have to have that motivation and that passion to do hard things. And I think that's extremely important. It's not easy. I would not sit here and lie to anybody and act as if it's just the most simplistic thing in the world, because it's not. It's not. It's a lot of studying. It's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of missing out. You know, I missed out on a lot of things. Like, I had friends who would be traveling and going places and doing things, and I had to sit some things out because I had to prioritize my future. I had to prioritize my education. I had to prioritize clinicals. I had to prioritize those things to arrive at the destination that I wanted to get at. So it's definitely hard work. It's arduous. Sometimes you definitely feel like giving up. You don't feel like you have any more gas in a tank, but I'm here to tell you, you do. You can continue to thrive and you can do hard things. You just have to work for it. It will not come easy.
No, it will not. I second that too. So on your path of becoming a nurse practitioner, a doctoral-prepared nurse practitioner, what do you think was your biggest challenge?
Oh, I had many challenges, and I am a person that now understands that you learn from your failures too. A lot of times people look at failures as like, oh gosh, I'm not good enough. I didn't do a good job. And they take that and go into a negative space. But with failures, you actually learn what not to do. You learn what doesn't work. You learn how you have to then pivot or reevaluate something. Like, from failing, there are so many learnings in that just make you 10 times better, because now you know where the pitfalls are. So some challenges that I've had in my field has always been being the only one. I am like the poster child of first. Like I tell people all the time, like, if you want to pilot something, I'm your girl, because I've been like the poster child of first everything, right? But that is scary. That's extremely scary. It's a place that can definitely make you feel like you're unworthy. Imposter syndrome is a real thing. You definitely feel like, okay, why me? Why am I being picked to do this? Like, I'm not qualified. But in my faith, I've learned that, hey, God doesn't always call the people who supposedly are qualified. He calls the person that can do the job. So I have learned those things along the way, but being like the only one is lonely. Being the only one can make a person feel inadequate, because you don't have anybody to lean on. You don't know where the landmines are. You don't have friends. So it's those things have really stretched me and challenged me to become better. But in doing so, it just made me reevaluate where I'm at that time. So it's like, okay, who are my allies? Maybe I have to push myself a little bit more to build different relationships, because naturally we draw to what's comfortable, right? We draw to the thing that's easy. We draw to the thing that feels the most comfortable. But when you're in a position where you look around and it's like, oh, it's just me, you have to make adjustments. You have to adapt. You have to grow through that situation. And I definitely learned that I had to do that. Like I remember as a young girl, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, predominantly Black neighborhood. I grew up 16th Street, west side of Chicago, North Lawndale area. I ended up deciding to go to Lane Tech as a high school. And I was terrified when I got to Lane, because I was the minority for the first time in my life. So, of course, being a minority, you don't really know that you're a minority until you're in a place where you're actually the minority, right? So, growing up in North Lawndale, like, I'm the majority. Everybody looks like me. We're all doing the same thing. We're, all the same, right? So then I go to Lane and I'm like terrified, culture shock. Like, nobody looks like me. I'm in classes with people who speak like different languages and things like that. And it's like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Like, what am I doing here? And that experience, I ended up leaving. I cried every day. I told my grandmother, I was like, I can't do this. This isn't the place for me. I'm not going to thrive here. And she did allow me to transfer. I ended up going to Weston House on the west side of Chicago. She did allow me to transfer. But after that experience, and over time, I was like, I was a quitter. And that didn't feel good to me. That didn't resonate with my spirit. I was like, that wasn't how I was supposed to handle that. And from that day on, anytime something felt hard, I made it my business to push through it, because I never wanted to feel like I quit something. So for me, being the only one now, I can care less. It doesn't bother me anymore to the degree that it used to, but that definitely was a challenge, like navigating being the minority. That was something that was really difficult for me.
I'm glad you was able to reflect on that and see those things. But, well, ain't no but. Because now we're in part of the episode where we're going to do white coat confessions. That was kind of a confession, but that was a learned lesson from an experience, from a childhood experience. So the white coat confessions part of the podcast episode, of course, this White Coats and Real Talk podcast, tell the audience something that nobody knows about you. Well, we're going to leave out like close family members. Mm-hmm. But something, it could be personally, professionally. I would say a lesson learned, but you just gave us a lesson learned. Something that you wouldn't mind sharing that kind of shaped you into who you are today?
For sure. I would have to say, growing up the way that I grew up, I had a lot of examples of what I didn't want to be. So, growing up in an impoverished community where you see a lot of people who aren't thriving, who aren't making the right choices, they aren't doing the right things, you have two choices, right? Either you can blend in with the crowd and kind of conform to that, or you can say, you know what? I want a different path. I want to do something different. Even though you don't really see that path, you know that the path that's in front of you is not the path for you, right? So with growing up in the communities that I grew up in, I saw a lot of examples of what I didn't want to be. Like I saw a lot of examples of like situations that I didn't want to find myself in, that I wanted to be a person that pushed through the status quo, to be different, to thrive, to grow, to do something greater than what I saw. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't all bad, right? It wasn't all bad, but I always knew I wanted something different. I wanted something better. I always knew that I could achieve better. But being in certain environments, I tell people all the time, we as people, we only are as great as what we're exposed to, right? Mm-hmm. So if you don't see a lot of things growing up, you don't really realize what's possible. Right. Because if you're just in this one box, you don't see what's on the outside of the box. You don't see the other things that you could potentially add to your life because you're just in this box. So for me, I always wanted to get out of the box. I wanted to see what was on the other side of the box, or what was in the circle or the square or the rectangle, right? I wanted to see what else was out there for me. So, growing up, I definitely had, again, examples that I didn't want to be. I saw people who, chose paths that I knew would not be promising for me, that wouldn't get me to where I wanted to be.
And I tell my students and nurses that I mentor, don't put yourself in a box.
No.
Do not put yourself in a box. No. Don't even allow nobody to try to put you into a box.
No. You're so much greater.
So much greater.
You have so much more potential. There's so much more you can do. Like, think the unimaginable. Like, there is this scripture in the Bible that says, ask for the moon. Like, go above and beyond. Like, be grandiose. Like, don't play it small. Like, what are we playing it small for? Like, at the end of the day, you can have whatever you want. Whatever you're willing to work for, it's yours. Don't put yourself in a box. Like, don't, oh, well, I saw this, I'm just going to go with that. But really, deep down inside, you want to do something else. Like, don't be afraid. You have to step out there, because those become the things that you regret. Like, you regret not taking the step because you don't know what would have happened, right? We can sit up and ponder and be like, oh, wow, maybe it would have went like this, or maybe it would have went like that. But the reality is you don't know how it would have been because you didn't take the step. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, definitely take that step, put yourself out there and do the hard things. And I have to say that's even a message that I've taken on recently. Like, step out there. Don't play it small.
You're right. Do it big. Do it big.
Yes. Go hard or go home.
Go hard or go home. Yes, yes, yes. So what's next for you? Do you have any upcoming events, goals, projects, things you're probably dabbling into? Ventures?
I really do.
We want to get in your business a little bit.
I really do. So going back to going big, I'm always a person that challenges myself. Like, I want to do things, like, and for me, it always becomes a matter of timing, right? But timing is tricky, because I think if you allow time to be a factor in anything, you will always come up with a reason why it's not the right time. There will always be things that will be like, oh, it's not a good time. Like, I'm just not going to, it's not a good time. Like, I'll wait till next year. It's not a good time. Like, there will always be things that just pop up. But as of recent, I decided I wanted to go into entrepreneurship as a nurse practitioner. So I've started my own company, which is amazing. And it has been one of the most challenging things in the world. But of course, we can do hard things. We can do hard things, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's a different part of your brain that has to work, right? You have to tap into that business side of your brain, right? Because showing up as a provider at another company, that's easy.
Right.
They have the red carpet laid out for you. Oh, here's your template, here's your business cards, here's your phone number, here's this, here's that. Like, it's no math involved. I'm just showing up and the patient showing up. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going home. But now, as the business owner, you're the janitor, you're the scheduler, you're the nurse practitioner, you're the nurse, you're like all these things, the website developer. Yes. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm learning skills I didn't even know I had. So it has stretched me, but in an enthusiastic way. Like, it's not like I'm burnt out or stressed out or anything like that. It's just another area of my brain being operated, and I love it. So Chosen Health and Wellness is my wellness company. I am a person that really loves beauty. Okay. I love beauty. I love confidence. I truly feel like when people, not just women, men too, I feel like when people feel good about themselves, they command a space better. When I show up and I feel good, oh, my presence is going to be felt. You're going to know I was there. And I love giving that to other people. I have a newborn. So yeah, I have a 20-year-old and a newborn. That's a story for another day. That's a story for another day, Dr. Angel.
We're going to have to catch up on that story because he'll be 20 this year and I have a 2-year-old.
Oh gosh. So you did the same thing. Like, we are kindred sisters.
I know.
Like, we really are.
We are sisters.
I don't know what we are. I don't know what came over me, but I decided, well, I might as well just have another child. And so during my maternity leave, Chosen was birthed. I was sitting at home and my son was premature. I had some complications with my pregnancy, and being at home, it was the first time that I was still and I could really hear. You know how sometimes you get just so busy. Mm-hmm. And you hear nothing. You just going like a hamster on a reel. You're just going, right? But in the stillness, it was like, Stephanie, what's next for you? And in that moment, Chosen was born. And it was like, you know what? I want to empower people. And fast forward, I'm getting ready to go back to work. I'm terrified. Nothing fits. I feel inadequate. Like, my husband is like trying to encourage me. And he was like, well, Stephanie, just buy something. I was like, don't you dare encourage me to buy new clothes. I am not buying new clothes. That's not happening. Like, but I'm feeling inadequate. Like, I'm not feeling pretty. I'm not feeling like myself. I'm like, I have to get back to me. And in that moment, I realized there are so many people among us that feel that way. Mm-hmm. And they need people to encourage them. They need people to walk alongside them and say, hey, look, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you optimize your health, but also build up your confidence. Like, we need those type of people. And again, representation matters. You need people who look like you, who are unapologetic and unashamed to say, okay, well, that's not taboo. Like, this is real. It helps. Here's the research behind it. Like, you need people who can empower you to make those informed decisions based off fact, not social media, not Dr. Google, but like really the real thing. Like, well, here's a study. Here's the research that came behind it. Here's a clinical trial. Like, and really empowering people to embrace those things and show up in a different way. And for me, going through it myself was the catalyst for me to establish Chosen. So I started Chosen. I'm moving into my space July 1, which is so exciting. It really is. It's so exciting. I'm like so excited for it and terrified at the same time. But it has been, Dr. Angel, it's been challenging because I feel like this field of medicine is very different because all my life being in nursing, I was kind of brought up under the old adage of you pay it forward. You lift while you climb. But I feel like in this climate, it's a lot of capitalism.
Let's be honest.
It's a lot of capitalism. It's not friendly. It's not warm and welcoming. I'm a resourceful person. If something is in a book, I'm going to find it anyway. So it doesn't matter. But I just feel like it could be so much better if people were a lot more forthcoming and wanting to mentor and guide and not capitalize. Like, oh, well, I'll show you this, but it costs $5,000. Right. It's like, huh? And like, where did you even come up with your consultant fee? Like, where did that come from? Like, it's wild.
It is.
Like, it's extremely wild, right? And I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice with that. I am a person, I love to teach. So like, even as I was doing my full practice authority application, there were other people I came in contact with and they were asking me questions. I'm like, oh, do this and do this. And no, don't call that number. Call this backline number. Like, and you'll get it in it. Because like, I'm hearing people like, oh, it took me almost a year to get my full practice authority. I was like, oh, that's not going to be my story, baby. I'm going to have this. And I had mine in 6 weeks.
I had mine in probably 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
See what I'm saying? And it just took a little bit more leg work, a little more finesse. But I was eagerly sharing that information. Like, I'm not withholding it. Like, what do I get from withholding something from somebody else? And I truly feel like there is room for everybody. Like Chicago, the Chicagoland area has over 3 million plus people. Like, there's enough patients. There's enough people. Like, it's enough for everybody. Like, we don't have to be competing. Now, don't get me wrong. I do feel like there comes a point where, of course, you have to have a price tag. But what does that look like? Like, is that $5,000 to a person that's starting now? Probably not. Like, what does that look like? And how much of a duty do you actually have, again, to lift while you climb? Because it's really cliche to be like, oh, I want to help everybody and I'm giving back and I'm doing this, but really you are at a price, so I feel like this field has been challenging in that regard to me because like growing up, whatever you learned, like you were ready to go back to teach other people. Like when you learned a new skill, like, oh my God, I learned how to put this Foley in this way. Let me show you this, so you were eager and you wanted to, and it was intent and purpose. But this field is a little different.
Very different.
It is. It's
very different. So on my path, I find that it's a lot of people competing.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of people don't want to share their resources, share their knowledge. When I got into my entrepreneurship journey, even in my nursing career, I couldn't find a mentor. I didn't have no mentor at all.
Wow.
In my entrepreneur journey, when I opened and established my clinic, I didn't have nobody help me at all. The ones that was in that field, they didn't want to help. I ain't even had nobody even give me a price.
Wow.
Like seriously, it was very sad, but it also, I was supposed to go through that.
Yep.
Because it's why I'm in a position I am in now to really help others.
Absolutely. Like, that's why we're sitting on this couch right now.
I get happy sharing knowledge and resources with other people, seeing other people thrive, seeing other people grow, seeing other people witness other opportunities. I feed off that.
Absolutely.
That brings a lot of joy to my heart. But on my journey, I ain't no help at all.
So I haven't had any either. I actually, it was really interesting because I'm a friendly person. So like I'll reach out or whatever. And I reached out to someone and I asked them, this is the question that I asked Dr. Angel. I would love to connect with you to just hear about your journey and any pitfalls as you were establishing that you could share with me that I could avoid. The response was, oh, I would love to connect. My consulting fee is $500 an hour. I can't make this up. Like, I'm so for real. That was the response. And I'm like, I didn't ask for a consulting fee. Like,
right.
You can go to the IRS website and get your EIN, and you can establish your own LLC with your articles on the Secretary of State. Like, it's not that hard to do, you know, but it was like, what? So it was, that made me take pause, and it made me realize like, okay, I'm in a different arena now. But going back to what you just said, I feel like there are things that we have to go through. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in this journey and in my solitude of doing this, it's only making me better because at the same time, I'm learning for myself. Yes. Because a lot of times too, you can't trust all information that you get, right? So I'm learning for myself, which is a very important thing to have. I'll never forget one professor when I was at Governor State. And we were complaining like, oh my gosh, why can't you just give us this answer? Why can't you do this? And something this professor said, it resonated with me. And I've taken this with me throughout my journey. She said, if I give it to you, you won't learn it. She said, when you go and look yourself, that's what you retain. You're not going to retain me regurgitating information to you. You learn by doing and doing it yourself. And that was something, it was a hard lesson because of course don't nobody want to, if I don't have to, like right. I want to get this done quick. But in the grand scheme of things and being a business owner, I think it adds more value to you because you're learning what you need to learn for your business. And then when you do become established, you can pay it forward and you can be that person to other people to say my wheels are already spinning on ways to educate other people who are coming behind me in doing this. And I'm in my infancy. Like I'm already preparing to be that person to other people because another thing that you shared that's really disturbing is like the lack of mentorship. Mm-hmm. Like the lack of mentorship. And again, I get it. People feel like they have to be compensated for certain things, but where is the volunteerism? Where is the paying it forward? Where is the giving back? Where is that demonstration of, you know what, I want to be there for somebody else because I knew how it felt not to have anybody. Like, absolutely. Where is that? I feel like we perpetuate this negative narrative and all we're doing is stifling our culture because we're not helping. Like, that's not being helpful. The things that you do when nobody's watching, those are the things that you're doing to help people. Like you will be surprised at how far it will go to be a mentor to a new nurse and just connect with them once a month. Mm-hmm. You will have no idea the impact that you will have on that person when they may be feeling like this isn't for me. I made the wrong decision. I can't keep moving forward. You will have a huge impact on them. Being that person that they can call on. And it takes nothing.
It does. It really does.
It takes nothing. It's not that deep in the grand scheme of things. You know, a 30-minute conversation here and there. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't take anything to be that mentor to people and to share your knowledge and to be vulnerable with them about what you've gone through and how you navigated certain challenges because the healthcare field, it has gotten a lot better, but it was not as inclusive to us. So imagine what you can do and the impact that you can be to that person who's on that unit alone, feeling discouraged, feeling isolated or ostracized. Like, you can be such a critical component to somebody's life and their professional trajectory. We have to do better.
We do have to do better. And I'm glad you did bring up the mentorship. I've been mentored for a very long time. I do have a not-for-profit called Angels Helping Hands, where I mentor the youth, ages 13 through 18. But not only that, I've been mentoring nurses for a long time now, right? But it's only one me.
Exactly.
Right? So God put it on my spirit. So I'm starting a nurse practitioner group. It's called White Coat Powerhouse. And I'm actually looking for mentors. And it's going to be free. I want it to be free, for novice nurses, nurse practitioner students. It's going to be a nurse practitioner group, White Coat Powerhouse. And I am looking for mentors who is willing to invest 30 minutes a month, talking to nurse practitioner students who having their struggles, who need mentors, who need some guidance and support.
Count me in.
Not talking
count
about.
Me in. You don't even have to say it. Okay. You don't even have to usher the words. Like, count me in. Like, I'm here for it.
Okay.
We need that.
Yes.
And I think about going back to when I was in school and getting out of school, just the lack of representation, like, and the fear. Just the fear, like the overwhelming fear of stepping into that role. Like, of course, you're in school, you pumped up, like, yeah, I just passed my test, I got my license, like, you ready to go. And then you get there day one and you may get a crappy collaborating physician who wants no part of you, who doesn't really want to collaborate, just doing it because the organization is requiring him to.
Right.
Like, how do you navigate that? How do you build a bridge with someone that you're heavily reliant upon, right? But they have no interest in doing that. And that takes someone being vulnerable to share some strategies, to give some encouragement, to help that person go through that situation, because it's hard. It's hard stepping into that field. It's hard going from being expert to being a novice all over again. Like, you go from being at the top of your game as a nurse, like, you're the person everybody's calling on, you're charged, you're this, you're that. And now you're stepping into an arena where now you're at the bottom. You don't know much. You don't know the players. You don't know the people. You're learning the patients. Like, you're starting from scratch. And it's extremely terrifying to have to take that step and to do it with no one.
Yeah. Yes, it
is even more difficult. So I'm here for it. Sign me up. I want to.
She said this on
Yes.
She said this on the podcast.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
Dr. Stephanie, you said.
Yes. Absolutely. The White Coat Powerhouse. Yeah. I'm in. Count me in for sure.
Yes. I love it. Well, that brings our episode. We finna end. I don't want to end.
Look, we can talk forever,
I
right?
know, right? But it most definitely was a pleasure and an honor for you to be on this podcast. I really want this podcast to make an impact on our Black healthcare professionals so we can create this safe space. And so our thriving Black healthcare professionals, I can't even talk today, healthcare professionals can be highlighted, and then real talking about those struggles and, the challenges that we face. Because sometimes people just see us in this white coat and they be like, oh, they got it on and this and that, and don't know what it took to actually get this white coat.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you. And to our audience, is there anything that you want to say before we end?
I first want to, again, thank Dr. Angel for creating this space and giving us a platform where we can highlight what we're doing and encourage other people that they are capable of doing the same. I also want you guys to check me out on social media. It's Dr. Steph Bradley Miller on Facebook and Dr. Steph_MP on Instagram. And of course, Chosen Health and Wellness. When you get a chance, please check us out, all things wellness. And if you guys have any questions or anything for me, please feel free to hit me up. So thank you guys for having me.
Make sure you guys are following her on Facebook, Instagram. Check out her website.
Absolutely. Yes, okay. My website is up and live, chosenhealthnow.com. So please check my website out too. I really look forward to hearing from you guys.
And so that will end tonight's episode. Make sure that you're following us on all platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Black Excellence in Healthcare, White Coats and Real Talk Podcast. We want you all to be part of this impact because we're going to make it loud. Ain't we?
Absolutely.
We're going to make it
absolutely. Absolutely. Go hard or go home. You have to, for
That's
sure.
Right. So until next time, good night.
Good night.